Hi, I'm Ben, and this is my review on Season 2 of Sonic Prime. Sonic Prime, Sonic Prime. Okay, it was a great Season 2. Okay, so if you remember in the last episode, he Sonic left Pirate Universe and went into like the other Shatter and went to the Shatter space where he runs into Shadow. It's like there is no greenhouse and it's all your fault. And then we start the new episode. The new episode was released earlier on YouTube, but I want to wait to watch all the episodes. Okay, so in this episode, we got to see Shadow and Sonic really interact with each other. They fight for a while, but then they explained what he was doing through the past through, and he was trying to communicate with Sonic, but it kind of but he couldn't do it. But it was he only talks to him if he goes super fast. But then he can jump through other dimensions, and then Shadow takes Sonic to the Green Hill Zone, but it's all colorless and sad. But then he goes into he meets his friends, and he's like, and we're all repeating the same thing, like Tails saying, "As long as I'm around, you'll always have, I'll always have your back." And Amy and it's the same thing with everyone, but Shadow shows him the prism energy, and then they try to, and then he tells him that because the Shatter Space are in other dimensions, this world is like this. So Shadow doesn't trust Sonic, so then they have a big epic fight, which is pretty interesting. And then he steals part of the suit and then the outfit because the tag that Nine Tails give to him, and then he tries to but then Shadow tries to grab the outfit, grabs the part for the shoes and gloves, and then tries to travel to other dimensions, but that's not how it works. It's Sonic with the prism energy, because he has the prism energy, so they decide to work together. The first episode of the second season goes to the jungle universe. Now, I should point out, at first I thought that this was just going to be like, what I mean is, I thought this was going to be like uh, season one of part two, like they're going to divide season one into different parts, but no, this is season two. I, I would rather they just do like a full long season, but because that kind of makes the show feel a bit short, and I kind of want more but yeah, the show is still really interesting. Now, in my last video, I said that when I first reviewed Sonic, the first season of Sonic Prime, I wanted a Sonic series that tries to be CGI like how the Sonic video games are, like what Sonic Boom did, but more like try to be more faithful to the video games, kind of like borrowing elements from the video game storylines, kind of like what Sonic X tried to do, minus them going to like the real world with Chris Thorndike, like have him be in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe, and tell epic, gripping stories that takes itself a bit seriously, similar to the SatAM Sonic the Hedgehog SatAM series. But here, the Sonic Prime does do that, but we mainly travel to different version universe and see different variants of Sonic. I feel like they're trying to make this a little bit like for the Sonic fan base. Like if you watch Sonic in other versions, here's a all new version, which is a cool concept. But I kind of would like a series where it just takes place in Sonic's world with the Green Hill Zone and traveling to other places in his universe, and just have Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and Rouge as the main characters, but which is fine, which I still like. Don't get me wrong, I still like this series, but I kind of just want like a series with the main cast. But here, the main cast is mainly Sonic, and he meets different variations of his friends, like a pirate versions, a dystopian, futuristic army versions, and jungle cave people tree versions, which is fine. It's just I want the main cast, the main cast that we know. But yeah, also they really changed Rouge's character in this. Like If you remember in Sonic X, she acted sexy. She acted like she wants to steal things. But in like the other version, she's complete. Her character is very different. Like when she's an army soldier, she takes things more seriously and wants to fight back and rise and take. And the jungle version, she tries to be a more competent leader. Like, and I love the pirate version where they all talk like pirates. But yeah, okay. So in the jungle universe, he goes back, but then the Dr. Eggman Council tries to invade the jungle version. Sonic helps Thorn Rose, but the other ones were like, we have to give them the shard or else so they. It's 5 o'clock. That was my Looney Tunes clock, which is weird because in my last video I reviewed about Sonic Prime, the season one. It was 5 o'clock at that time, but anyway, so like I was saying, Thorn Rose, the Jungle Rose version, like Sonic wants to help her, but the other guys don't want to because they're like, we can't fight them. Let's just let them have the shard. But then at the end, they help out, and they're like, we gotta stop them. They're gonna destroy our jungle. And then it's the baby and the emo teen Eggman Council, and they're trying to destroy the jungle version. But then Sonic takes the shard, but then tries to help save everyone. And then there's kind of a gross part where Thorn Rose tries to hide the shard in his mouth. But yeah. Oh, also, did I forgot to say there's spoilers in this video? Sorry, spoilers. But anyways, yeah. So he tries to take the shard away, but then they stop the Eggman, and then they go into the next world, which is the pirate version, which is pretty neat. And here they hijack the the Kraken high-tech ship because in the last season the high-tech ship with Rusty Rose, the cyborg Amy, comes in and tries to take over that world, but then he comes back, and then Rusty Rose is their prisoner, but then the Eggman Council tries to abandon her, and then she was like, I changed sides now. So now, and there's a funny friendship and interaction with Pirate Amy Rose and Cyborg Dystopian Amy Rose, and they're all trying to interact with each other, and they're like, what? But yeah, so all the robot Pirate Amy interacts, and they try to be friends, and it's funny, like, there's a scene where they shoot cannons and they count and are like trying to one up each other, and then Sonic's like, you have some in common, and they move at the same time, and they're like, we have nothing in common, and we're nothing alike, and it was pretty funny. But anyways, they tried to get the shard, hard, and then Knuckles was like, get the shard, go after them, and then he comes back, but then Knuckles kind of lied. He's like, I want the jewel. He's like, he betrayed us. He left us out here to dry, and he went off to fight the robots and try to abandon us. And they're like, you abandoned us. And they're like, no, that's not what happened. But then he run, and then he had to travel between worlds because he had the shard. But then the Eggman Council stole the shard. Oh, and they did stole the shard in the Jungle universe, right? I forgot to mention that. The teen emo, I think Dr. Don't, but yeah, and Dr. Babbles, I think that's the baby's name, but yeah, they stole the shard, and then but they did help them, like Rouge flied up, and I forget what Jungle Rouge's name is, but anyways, and then Thorn Rose with her bird rise up and tries to get the shard. But then there's like a promise, like, you have to promise me you'll bring the shard back here, or you promise to come and help. I think he promised, but I think complications are gonna happen. We know that. He tries to run on water because his high-tech boots can do that, and then he's being chased by missiles, but then runs on the island where the Devil's Lighthouse was, which was the shard, and then I think he travels, to the other world, but the Chaos Council does steal the shard again, and And Nine is like been captured by the Chaos Council, but he wants to help Sonic as a secret spy. But then they go back to the New York City, which is like the futuristic city version of the Sonic verse, the Sonic verse. But then he goes back and then he tries to destroy, and then they try to get the shards. He teams up with the Army Knuckles, the Renegade Nux, and Rogue. I think that's the Rouge variant's name. Rogue. Sorry, Rogue. But then Rogue and Rouge team up. They build bigger robots, and the Chaos Council build big robots. And in the next episode, they meet the robot version of him, and the Chaos Council build like an evil robot Sonic, but it's not like Metal Sonic from the video games. It's like a new version named Chaos Sonic, and he acts annoying and obsessed. He kind of gives him a little bit of a Jaleel White Sonic voice, like from the old cartoons. And at first I thought that was Jaleel White, but no, it's the same actor who voices Sonic in this show, but he kind of gives him a little bit of a Sonic voice a bit, and I think the design's really funny, and he always makes fun like, I'm gonna be on t-shirts, merchandise, you can't stop me. But then they stop him and take him out. But then the Chaos Council tries to use the portals to terraform their planet, build buildings in like the Sea World and the Jungle World, and but they need to stop that. But then they brought the Sure. But then they tried to team up, but then he finds Nine, and then Sonic finds Nine, and then the pirate Knuckles. Oh, sorry, I forget his name. Nux. Some. Oh, I forgot. This is embarrassing. I forgot the name of Pirate Knuckles. Well, anyways, Pirate Knuckles meets Rebel Knuckles, and then they all team up and say, and it's really funny how they all interact. Like he was like, "Wait, he's another version of me." And then he Sonic finds Nine. He gets the shards, and then they all leave. And then they try to go to the other worlds, but then he tries to find the. But then there's cool scenes where Nine meets his variants like Rab, like Sails, the pirate, Tails, and I forget what the Mangy, I think that's his name, but Mangy and the Jungle Tales, and it's really funny. It's really amazing how they did that. Like, they're like, whoa. And then they go back to his world, and then Shadow meets each other. They team up, and the Eggman Council tries to destroy it, and then they create like a giant Eggman monster, and it's really amazing how they did that. And Sonic gets a big power up, and it's really funny how he works off with each other, and there's like a big cool epic battle. Now, the shards. I do want to bring something up about the shards. You know what a MacGuffin is? Like, the MacGuffin is. Alfred Hitchcock described the MacGuffin as an object that the characters in the show or story doesn't care. I mean, cares about, but the audience doesn't. But here, the MacGuffin. Well, I would say the shards are kind of the MacGuffin, but they try to do something better. Like, it is more about the characters discovering about themselves, like Nine's story, Sonic's story, Shadow's story, and why they're doing this in their place, and then like something else to care about. But it's not about caring about if the good guys or bad guys get the shards. It's more about what they're gonna do with them. Like, I want to bring back, like Sonic wants to bring back his world. The villains want to conquer the other world. Like, it's mainly about caring about the characters rather than caring if they get the MacGuffin. Like, I think that's why people don't like MacGuffins in stories. Like, people want to care about the story and characters rather than them getting a meaningless object that the audience wouldn't care. But yeah, so anyways, he goes to his world, and nine tails want to fix the shards and tries to put them together, and then there's one piece left, but then Sonic was like, well, let's go get it, and it's like, no, we're going to use the shard because before they showed an earlier scene that Tails has been going to another planet and tries to build his own world, but he's like, I want to build my own world. But yeah, but then Nine straight up becomes a traitor and abandons Sonic. Is like, people abuse me. Now I only care about me. And Nine is like, I'm gonna take the shards and do whatever I want. And Sonic was like, no. And Shadow's like, ugh. And yeah, and Shadow's like, do you think you can trust him? And there's this whole thing about trust, like, that's why you, and Sonic's like, that's why you don't have any friends, because you have trouble trusting each other. But yeah, now there's a big lesson to learn, because all this time Sonic's been telling Shadow we can trust him, and Renegade Nux and Rogue about we should trust him, and now he can't be trusted. But I do understand where he's coming from and what makes him bitter. But yeah. So that's the end of season 2. I wonder what's going to happen in season 3. Oh man, that's going to be exciting. I can't wait. Well, I hope it gets renewed for another season. What Wild Brain, like, that's the animation. Wild Brain, the same people that brought us, like, the people who animated Ninjago, that series, and other. It's really cool how they animate this. It's because, like I said in my other video, they brought new computers to make it more bigger, and they really do a good job in this. Like, for a TV show, this feels a bit cinematic. Well, for a TV show, that is, because it's still animated like a TV show, but they can make it more bigger looking for a TV show, and I really had fun watching this. Now, the multiverse, because, like I said, because in my Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania review, and in my other reviews, it's amazing how the multiverse is everywhere. Like, everyone's doing the multiverse, everyone. And I point out a lot of comics and cartoons. I like Ninja Turtles, The Simpsons comics, the other ones. And yeah, this was what I'm going to show you in my last video. I only have 3 issues, but it's He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse. I'm not going to lie, this attracted me. I'm very frustrated about, I think I said this in my other video, but I'm very frustrated that people are getting multiverse fatigue, which is, yeah, I think I said this in my Flash video, I don't remember, but yeah, it's just people are getting tired of the multiverse. But hey, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and everyone loved that. I think I read a comment, I don't think people are tired of the multiverse. I think people are tired of how not great how written it is, because the other ones that did the multiverse wasn't written good. But it's too bad, because I like seeing the Flash and other DC cameos, and I love the Marvel cameos and other this. Like, I was a big fan of the multiverse before it was popular. Like, you know that saying, I like this, before it was even cool. But I was a fan of the multiverse before it was even cool. Like, I remember reading, like, the Simpsons comics, like Simpsons Super Spectacular issue 2, where Bart Simpson met different variants of himself. I loved that, and I wanted to find more. And then I saw the video game Spider-Man Shattered Dimension, and then they made, and I really wanted to play that, and I did. And then they made the Spider-Verse, and then there was the movie Spider-Verse, and I really got hooked, and I was really happy that the multiverse was getting popular and everything. But now a lot of people are getting tired of it because it's everywhere. But I don't think they're getting tired of it because it's everywhere. I think it's not well written. But hey, if you're going to do the multiverse, at least do it better written. Like, thank gosh we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I love that they made that. I love that movie. But with that said, that's my reviews on Sonic Prime Season 2. It was a great series. I can't wait to see Season 3. I hope they make a Season 3. I hope to see what's going to happen. Like, how is Shadow and Sonic going to stop 9? Is Shadow even want to work with Sonic ever again after that? So we'll have to see. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.